Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to the Fly Life with Lynesha Marie. I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited for today. And so, shout out to if you're catching this on whatever platform, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, welcome and thank you for tuning in. If you don't know, I'm Lynesha Marie, aka the Fly Coach, that stands for Fulfilling Living Year Round. And it is my goal to help individuals thrive in every area of life that is spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and professionally. And everything that I do, it is with the intention to help individuals master your time, find your gold mine, that's find your purpose and wealth, and experience fulfilling living. And we know that fulfillment is found on purpose. So I'm so excited for today because we are kicking off a speaker spotlight because if you didn't know, if you are just now tuning in, I don't know if maybe you've been under a rock. I don't know where you've been, but we are putting together an awesome and amazing Purpose in Paradise retreat in 2025, and we want to see you there. But guess what? We're going to have some awesome and amazing speakers, and I'm excited because we are going to be highlighting one of the speakers today. She is an awesome and amazing powerhouse woman. Let me tell you about her. She is a wife. She is a mom. She's a mompreneur. Not has she only started one business, but she started several businesses and has helped her children establish businesses as well. She is also one of my sisters in success in the travel industry. And she is the owner and founder of Not Your Ordinary Mom. It is a community of moms, mompreneurs, to help you develop both professionally as well as personally. And to kick it off, she is our speaker, one of our speakers at the Purpose in Paradise retreat that will be hosting the F.L.Y Financially workshop. So that's why you need to be in the room. Who doesn't want a vacation where we mix work and play? You know, we take our goals around the globe. So she's going to be facilitating our F.L.Y Financially workshop, and I'm so excited because she just started this new initiative. She's offering a new financial service. While it's a new service, she's not new to the topic. And so that's why I am honored, absolutely honored to have her as a speaker. I'm honored to have her on this channel. And I'm just so excited about this conversation. And so I'm going to bring up Coach Tamara Washington to the stage. Welcome.
Hey, sis. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? How are you?
I am great and amazing on today and excited to be here sharing this platform with you.
Yes, I am so excited. I know we were just talking about how we need to do this more often, how collaboration is key. We talk about that all the time, but we go so much further together in how we push each other, we stretch each other to grow. So I'm excited about this conversation today, and I hope our viewers are tuned in. I hope if you go ahead and like it already, because this is going to be a fire conversation. You just don't even know just yet, but go ahead and like
tell
it.
the people, look,
Share it, do all of the things, and tune in because we have some knowledge to share with you and some gems to share with you. Just a little taste in the teas because, like I said, we want to see you at the Purpose in Paradise retreat. So, Coach, let's just get it kicked off because we want to respect and honor your very busy time. Okay, I hear about your schedule and I'm like, oh my gosh, how is she doing all of that? I just have to take care of myself, and I'm like. So
that part, oh my goodness.
So I know I just gave kind of a brief overview, but go ahead and let the people know. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
Well, yes, and thank you so much for that interview or the announcement. I appreciate you. But yes, absolutely. My name is Coach Tamara Washington. As Coach Lynesha mentioned, I go by the name Not Your Ordinary Mom. That is my latest business. And it really pertains to who I am. Not Your Ordinary Mom is who I am. Beauty, travel, and business is simply what I do. At this point, I have 5 children. I have 2 grandchildren, and I currently have 8 businesses running. And I just love it. The main one, Not Your Ordinary Mom, is simply to help coach women and by empowerment, to empower them and to assist them in unleashing the confidence that they have within, just bringing it to the forefront so that they can live a fulfilling life. And not only that, the added bonus to that is really to be able to then pour that into our children. I just always feel like when God blesses us and situations bless us, the best thing we can do, especially if we have children, is to provide them with our overflow. I am a huge cheerleader and fan for being change agents. Once we are able to change the dynamics in personal growth within our home, it then can transcend into relationships, friendships, schools, like school settings and things like that, and then into our community, and then into the economy as a whole. So that's really who I am, and to the core of what I do.
No, I love that. And when you were talking, you said 8 businesses. I don't know why I didn't know. I'm like, what? So, oh my goodness. And so thank you so much for sharing that. And now I know, I hope the individuals know this is why we this is why we just get along, and we just connected from the moment that we really, got connected to each other. And it's like, it makes sense. God knows what he does when he puts people together. I don't believe in
Absolutely.
coincidences.
No doubt. And you really talked it up about the collaboration part. That's what it is. And that's why we were just talking about that. But it goes deeper than that. When you add prayer to it, it takes it to a whole nother dimension. And that is what I love about you, sis. What we do before we went live.
Pray.
We
Okay.
prayed. Absolutely. Okay. So
Listen.
yeah, I'm so in it to win it at this point. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm a big believer that it's like, look, I can't do this without my Holy Father. Okay, my Lord and
That
Savior. I
part.
cannot do this. Like, he's called us to this, but we can't do it by ourselves. And the minute
Absolutely
that we
not.
feel that we can just do it without him, then we're operating in a space of pride and ego. And so that's why it's like, nope. So even though sometimes in different things, when we try new things, we launch out in different businesses, we launch out in different hobbies, we show up differently. And it can be very scary to a lot of individuals, but it's like, it's a good thing when you're nervous, because that
It
gives room
is.
for the Holy Spirit.
Right. Yes, it takes you out of it, and then you relying on that on God. So yes, and then even in as far as what you were saying, because when I say I own 8 businesses, I know people are like, "What are you doing? You doing too much." The great thing for me is that they all are intertwined. I'm just like, who doesn't want to look pretty or feel beautiful? I feel like when you look good, you feel good, right? And when you're winning in life, when you're getting those promotions and things, what do you want to do? Travel, right? and to make all of that stuff work, to get your hair done, go and be able to live in the luxury of travel, what do you need? Finances. So for me, look, they all come full circle. They all are
Listen,
intertwined.
they all work together. Okay. And
Yes,
that's why we're here, about living on purpose, living
that part.
intentionally. It's not necessarily just chasing after money, but it's like, how does this all work together, and how can we continue doing what it is that we're called to do? But
That
guess
part.
what? We're supposed to have multiple streams of income. Okay. So
That part.
so based on what you kind of just described, and you touched on it a little bit, but I want to dig a little bit deeper. What would you say is the most rewarding part of the work that you do?
Really helping people. So I learned at a very young age. I always thought I was a boss. I honestly, as a little girl, thinking back on it, I always was in that space of curating something or leading something. But as I've grown older, I know that business is to the core of it, but even greater than that, it's truly helping people. I love learning. I love learning. That's part of the reason why I have several different businesses. But I love being able to pour into others. Everything that I learn, I like to pass it forward in any capacity that I can. Because I just feel like the more we know, the more we can grow. And when we know better, we can do better, plain and simple.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you touched on passing it forward, right? And that's what we're kind of doing, even with the Purpose in Paradise retreat, is really coming together so that we can share our knowledge with individuals, share our expertise, and help each other grow, because we already
Yes.
touched on the collaboration piece, but we grow together. I think you said that in the beginning too. We grow
Yes,
together, and it's all a
absolutely.
learning lesson. And so just transitioning now to touch a little bit on the Purpose in Paradise retreat. Like I said in the intro, in case you missed it, the retreat is all about bringing women together.
Mhm.
Have some play, because Lynesha can't go anywhere out of the country. Okay, I need to find a beach. It's in Cancun,
I
and
love
so
it. I
we're
love
gonna have
it.
some fun. Okay, we're definitely gonna have some fun, but I cannot be in community with women and we don't talk about our goals, or we don't talk about how we can grow and develop and what we can work what we should work on more and what we need to develop more and collaborate. And so
Right.
you are the speaker of the F.L.Y Financially workshop. So tell us a little bit about your financial services and what can attendees learn or take away from the financial workshop that we'll be hosting.
Yes. Well, finances, period. Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be very transparent. Before I even dove really deep into the personal development part, I used to honestly think money was the root to all evil. I did. I could not stand money. And you know what? I read a book, I believe it was by Tony Rowan. I believe that's his name. And as soon as I opened the cover, it spoke to my spirit, my heart, mentally, all of that, because what it says is if you believe money is the root to all evil, that's the reason why you do not hold it or can't keep it. And that just took me like, whoop, it took the wind out of me, because it made sense, right? Money is not, it's when we let the love for money and greed rule us, that's when it becomes a problem. But the fact of the matter is, we need money to take care of not just ourselves, but the people that mean the most to us. We learn this all the time in the business and that we share, right, through personal development. So what it is that we're coaching now in the financial services realm that I'm now a part of is the fact that as we grow in life, and we're trying to catch our community while they're young, while they're in their 20s, even 18 years old, growing into retirement. We want you to know not only what you desire for your retirement, but to be prepared to live that thing out. Like, we all have these big goals of what we want our lives to be like. But if we do not set ourselves up early on for that to happen, the likelihood of it happening is slim to none. We will end up working our entire lives away, getting to retirement, not having anything to show for it, or being able to live half the dream that we wanted for ourselves because we're not there financially, right? And so this is what we're coaching right now. Today, let's show you how to, even something as small with investments, whatever the case may be, let's make a strategic plan that's going to carry you through from now until the time that you retire, so that you can borrow the wealth while you're simultaneously building your wealth. So that is truly what it is. We're showing people and their children to be able to set themselves up to truly not just say they want to be financially free, but to truly be financially free, especially when retirement comes. And hey, achieving that before the age of retirement is a bonus. It can be done though, but there's a way to go about doing it. And so that's what I'll be talking about.
Ooh, that was so good. And as we know, because retirement is not about age, it is about income.
It's not.
It is about your income.
That
And
part.
when you talked about, even getting the individuals while they're younger, it's because I'm sure it's the same thing for you. We weren't taught that necessarily growing up,
No, Lord, no, we weren't.
Not at all. I think I mean I knew about bank accounts. I knew about saving, and then I got my first job working in banking. And so that kind of helped. But even then, it's still a very large gap as it relates to our finances. And so getting the individuals and young people is so important. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's exactly one of the questions that I always start out with. Like, when we're having that conversation, I too started working when I was young, actually since I was 13. So by my starting that young, I tell you, half the things that we see in our community, also in conjunction to what we learn in the classroom, shapes who we are as we grow up. I can tell you, I grew up, I'd say maybe lower class to middle class, right? And out of all those years of me growing up, I've never saw financial institutions within my neighborhood that would have helped me to understand what finances meant, or literacy, financial literacy, or like making investments, even so much as how to do deposits, how to create a savings account. I don't recall ever being taught that in school. And so now, knowing what I know now, I'm just like, wow. So that is one of the biggest factors I feel is what's going to change the way our community thinks and how we move, is bringing these conversations to kitchen tables, even on Zooms and things like that, and making it a natural conversation to have. my kids right now, I took them to the bank when all of them turned maybe 11 years old. We sat down with a banker and she explained with them what a checking account was, what a checkbook looks like, how to write your entries in about buying stuff. Like, you can't just get $20 in allowance and just go spending it all and thinking that you go have money left over. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? Or even with our children, helping them establish good credit at as early as at the age of 15. I was able to put my son on my credit card so that when he turned 18, his credit out the gate was 600, 700. Like, that's how it should be. Those should be the normal conversations that we're having in our households. But if we don't know to have those conversations, and if they're not seeing these things in the neighborhood, then it makes it a little bit more challenging, right? And so those are some of the key things that we'll be talking about. And my goal is to help transition like families again from their households, then going out into the communities, and then ultimately in our economy, because it's a domino effect. It truly is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you were talking, I just was thinking about, there was something that recently happened, like maybe a month or two ago. And it just goes to show how the gap with financial literacy. And it was like individuals didn't know that you couldn't write checks and you didn't have the money in the account. Like, literally, people were literally, but it was because of the demographic who didn't grow up, and they, didn't get that education to actually, okay, this is how you write a check, and go,
Exactly.
most don't even know how to write a signature these days. And so
Oh my
it's like,
gosh.
so it's definitely needed. But I wanted to go back really quickly to something that you talked about how our mindset towards money and how that can impact what we do and what we don't do. And
Yes.
when you were talking, I'm like, it is so true, because I too, was like, oh my gosh, money is the root of all evil. And it's like, no, the love of money. And
Right.
at the end of the day, like, we all have a purpose. We all have an assignment that we have to do. And that requires resources, whatever resources looks like, time. Yeah, sometimes it's time, money, individuals, that we were talking about how sometimes we need individuals, we need teams in order to continue growing together. And
Yes.
so I can't remember who said it in the one business that we work in, but it's like, I mean, you can't, listen, individuals, we can pray for individuals as much as we want, but sometimes they need a check. Okay.
That
Sometimes they
part,
need
belief
money.
check. That belief check.
Yes. And I think that's what really meant the belief check for real. But it's like, even to just keep going, but it's like, I want to be able to, I think this is what changed my mind about finances, is that I want God to be able to send me and say, hey, go give somebody some money. I don't want to just be the one that's
Yes.
always, because I'm going to pray. Okay, I'm going to pray.
Right. Right. That part. Have to.
Listen, but I want to be able to say God can use me as a vessel in that way, right? And so
Yes.
we can't do that and be broke at the same time.
No, I don't know who, because I used to have this conflict with one conversation with a friend, and that was the whole thing. Well, you don't need all of those things. No, it's not to say that I personally don't need it, but in order for me to help someone else, I absolutely do. Or like, even for me right now, we host seminars at my establishment in our event space for free. But guess what? I still got to pay for the light bill. I still have to pay for my mortgage. That money's not coming out of thin air. So yes, we do. We need the money to make these things happen, and even to be able to pour into other people, because I do honestly believe that that's one of my purpose, is to pour into individuals. Because I also feel like some people, you can hear the same thing, but depending on your relationship with the people that you're hearing it from will determine how much of that you receive. So if it's people that look like you and I that we're sharing this with, I just feel like sometimes we can get their attention a little bit easier than, because it's the whole thing. A lot of people don't receive everything from everybody. I know I'm like that. Sadly, my husband tell me that all the time. I just told you the same thing they told you. Why you listening? Listen, it's the way you say it.
The way you said it, because people are tuned into your voice. They're specifically
that part. Like,
you.
I love you, but
So,
that's just a real example.
No, and it's a real example, and it's not just in relationship. It's literally like, who are we receiving? Who can we receive the information from?
Right.
And are we in position Are we even in the
Right.
right position to receive the information? And so that is the
Yes.
key part right there, because we don't know. What does it say? We perish for lack of knowledge. And so, but it's like, if we don't know, we don't know what we don't know. But if we don't even know someone who can connect us to what we need to know,
Exactly. The tools and the resources, that part
we
right there.
the tools and
Yes. And I
resources.
just say too, like I've been through a lot of ebbs and flows, just even in business, going through that financial thing. And this is what I prayed. I put this post out a couple of weeks ago. Lord, thank you so much for the opportunity and for blessing me with all that I've been asking and praying for. Just please do not let me fumble this opportunity. Because even me, like I've had money come and go so many times throughout my life, but I didn't make the best choices with it, right? And then that led to other circumstances. But moving forward, now that I know better, look, again, that whole thing, what I said about what Tony Rowan said, it was because of my belief about money. That's the reason why I never stuck and stayed. But I bet you that won't happen again.
Listen, it
Because
takes us one
look,
time.
one time and one time only. Okay, that make it, save it, and invest it. That's what I'm on. Make it, save it, and invest it.
Awesome. Yes. So you also talked about, of course, we are very much aligned when it comes to, fulfillment, and freedom. How does the finances work along with fulfillment? Like, what does that look like, and how can an individual create fulfill? Like, what does fulfillment look like? If you can understand, kind of what I'm asking there.
Fulfillment, as you're saying, as it pertains to finances or just in general. Okay, so for me, fulfillment is really not having to worry about anything, being able to do the things that I want to do in life, like helping people or whatever, or just pouring into others. These are things that don't necessarily cost me anything. The information that I have, that knowledge is free. I can share this with whomever. Again, it just all goes back to like the space, the venue that I'm providing for people to come and gather to receive the information. I definitely have to pay for the overhead for that. But fulfillment also is my knowing that my children will not have to worry about anything, knowing that I will be set up later in life for retirement to truly retire and not have to be like some people, unfortunately, given their jobs the best years of their lives, getting to retirement only to find out they don't have enough money to truly be in retirement and then have to go back into the workplace. Now, I do get it too, that some people just enjoy working or just love doing something, because I don't know that I'll ever be able to sit down, truly, if you ask me the truth. I think, but retirement to me might look different than other people. Retirement to me is working because I want to and not because I have to. So even in me showing up, still mentoring or coaching someone, or still hosting classes, those are the things that give me the most peace and joy. So that is fulfillment to me. So just having my finances in place to, again, make sure that everything's good, the bills are paid, my kids' college and things like that are taken care of. Finances just gives us the opportunity to have choices, if that makes sense. And I absolutely love the idea. Look, have options.
Listen,
I love that idea.
Work optional. That is the goal. Yes. Work because we choose to, not because we have to.
Okay? Yes.
So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So I do want to ask you one question, because I know you're a mompreneur. That's your community that you have. So let's talk a little bit about balance. And so how do you personally incorporate balance and living intentionally to do these things that you've been called to do?
Well, look, that's really where the name Not Your Ordinary Mom came from. Because look, through life, again, I've been an entrepreneur for over 24 years now. And there was a period where literally we, in 2007, had a child. I had just started my business. And then 2 years later, we had another child, and it was like stair steppers back to back to back. I truly love family. This is what I do, everything that I do for my family. To me though, I struggle with the word balance. I don't think in my life and truly in life, period, it's hard to find a perfect balance. Now, can you find peace? Absolutely. So that's what I strive to do, is to find peace in the midst of it all, not necessarily balance, because there's always going to be the ebbs and flows of life. I just feel like it's already hard in and of itself running businesses and being an entrepreneur. When you add being a mom on top of that, and then a wife and things like that, those are just extra layers that doesn't make it necessarily difficult, but it changes it, right? So just finding peace amongst the chaos because my life is pretty chaotic, but I prioritize, and I've learned the power of no. Like, even with my kids and my family, sometimes I have to be over here a little bit more in business, like focused, laser focused on that. And in those situations, I've just learned to empower my family with the tools and resources that they need to, hey, mom's taking care of business right now. Let's get together. Let's clean up. Let's cook dinner. Let's make sure all these other things are taken care of. And then shifting when I need to shift to from business to being with my family. Now, do I have it all perfect at this point? Absolutely not. But I'm still working on that. Another thing for me is prioritizing self. Like, you have to take care of yourself, because if you're running on empty, nothing by your hands will work. It just won't. I've learned and found out the hard way what that looks like. And so that was another thing that I had to incorporate. So now what it is that I do every day, unless it's really never a day that I don't do this, but every single day I had to steal time. And I'm not a thief, but I literally had to steal time for myself. Every morning I wake up now at about 4:30 a.m. to just sit and do nothing, be quiet. I meditate for a couple of minutes. I work out for about 45 minutes. I do Bible study for me and my girlfriend, my friend, we do Bible study every single morning at 5:45. And then I start my day at 6 with my kids and my husband and work and everything. But I don't do anything until those three things take place first. Meditation, working out, and Bible study, because the Bible for me has become golden. Being in tune with God has, oh my gosh, it literally is what brought me the peace and the shift. The biggest shift in my life took place when I started to not lean on myself and my own understanding, but just really following the word of God and making sure that everything that I did professionally and personally was in alignment with that. So that was it.
So good. That is so good. And I say the same thing, like, it's taking care of spirit, soul, and body. We have to take care of those three things first. We have to be able to pour into ourselves first before we can pour into others and give our best to others. And so I'm so happy that you brought that up, because it is so very much important. So just the last few questions, the thing I want to know is, what excites you the most about the Purpose in Paradise retreat? What are you looking forward to?
Woo! Really connecting, fellowshipping with women, because I think that that's another thing. Look, I have a whole thing coming out in 2025. It is really about, because the principles of Not Your Ordinary Mom is health, wealth, family, fun, and business. And then we're just going to walk that whole thing out. So when you invited me to this opportunity, the first thing I thought about was the dynamics of being able to fellowship with other women. We are powerful beings. Look, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. We are so powerful in just the word woman. Okay. So to really walk that out and to share that with other women is going to be powerful. So that was the first thing I was looking for. Give me a reason to get into some sun and on a beach with a margarita. Look, I even researched it. Margaritas are the number one requested drink. Okay. So what better place? Look, I'm looking forward to it. And then also really, again, just to kind of pour into other women. I'm looking forward to all three of those things.
Yes, it's going to be such a good time. I'm so excited. And so as we wrap up the conversation, let the people know, how can they connect with you and what do you have on the horizon?
Okay, well, look, we have so many things on the horizon. We are definitely, again, we've been hosting like quarterly seminars and events as it pertains to those different topics: health, wealth, family, fun, and business. We just wrapped up our first series of Launch and Leverage, which talked about personal credit and then the foundational building blocks of being an entrepreneur. Our next class is going to be held December 12th. Also, the second part to our Launch and Leverage series, where we'll be talking about business credit, we'll be talking about financial planning, and then also taxes. Look, if you're an entrepreneur, you already know that season is coming around for tax preparation. So we're going to be pouring all of those things. And guess what? It is absolutely free. And then also, look, for the health part, we have our Pretty Girls Rock Step for Health coming up, where we'll be working out together every Tuesday. You'll be seeing flyers coming out about that. But most importantly, to stay connected and to just kind of join our tribe and see what we're up to, we have a Facebook page called I Am Not Your Ordinary Mom that you can definitely like, share, and follow. And then we have our podcast series coming up, and I look forward, so forward, Lynesha, to doing some more collaborations with you, because we too have some things together in the works that's coming up. So that's it. That's where you can find me. We're also on TikTok and Instagram under Not Your Ordinary Mom. So yes.
Yes, that sounds like some amazing things that are happening, that are in store, and absolutely, we are going to continue to collaborate. It's just
I'm
going to
looking
happen.
forward to it. Yes, it's a whole vibe anyway. Look, so I'm excited for it.
Yes. And for the viewers, go ahead. I did put the information down in the description box, so please connect with her, because this is all about flying financially. That's the whole goal. And so we want to make sure that you stay connected. And most importantly, we want to see you, ladies. We want to see you at the Purpose in Paradise Retreat in Cancun, Mexico in 2025. The registration link is in the description box. So we definitely want to see you there. And Coach, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing this space today, and for this conversation. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Like, we literally could have kept talking, but
absolutely.
That's just telling you why you need to be in the room. Okay, that's why you need to be in the room, either at
Yes,
hard
just
work
a
shops, at
snippet.
the retreat. You just need to be there. Okay, so we can
Yes.
continue this dialogue. So thank you so very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
And
I
to the viewers,
appreciate you.
yes, thank you. I appreciate you. And so thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in. That's all we had for you today. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, drop something in the comments. What stood out? What can you take away from the conversation today? And most importantly, let us know, are we going to see you in Cancun? Because I want to see you there. But go ahead, like, subscribe, and definitely share for anyone who may need this information, because it is for you. We are just learning and growing together, because the goal is to grow. So thank you so much for your time, and we will see you next time. Have an amazing
Bye.
weekend.